Hi, I'm Kelly from Kelly Jones Jewellery. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this cute little pendant. I've got a few of these stones left, so I'll make a few kits available in my Etsy shop. I've put all the links below of everything you'll need, all the links. I've put a list in the description below of everything you'll need to make this, along with all the usual links. We've got Facebook, Instagram and Etsy, where I sell all my written tutorials, if you fancy having a look at those. And like I say, I will make a few kits for this one. So from the YouTube comments from my last video, I gave you all a number, those of you who commented on the giveaway, and I'm now going to call the number up on Google. So the random number generator gave me number 46, which is Julie T. I'll comment on your comment below. If you could contact me with your details, I will send you the winning pendant. To make this pendant, you'll need 0.8mm wire, which is 21 gauge round or square, so it's 21 gauge square wire. So I'm using this square wire today. You can use round wire if you want to, it's entirely up to you depending on what you've got, but I'll be using the square, so I'm using 21 gauge. Got 0.315mm wire, which is a 28 gauge weaving wire, and I wound mine onto a bobbin. If you don't have a bobbin, don't worry. This is a Bobby's bobbin by Beadsmith. It just stops the wire from flailing about and you're working with a longer lengths of wire. Got a little marquise stone today, if that's how you pronounce it. This one's absolutely glowing. So the stone's got a point on the top and the bottom. Mine is 30mm by 10. You can use a similar size if you haven't got that exact stone. Just remember to adjust your wire lengths, add a couple more inches if your stone is, you know, a bit bigger than mine. And we've got a jump ring, which is 8mm outside measurement. Tools, I've got my pliers, round nose pliers, cutters, nylon pliers. If you don't have nylon pliers, don't worry. These are just what I use for straightening the weaves, straightening the wires and flattening the weave. You'll need a second pair of pliers to pop a jump ring on at the end. So find the centre point of your wires, and we'll start weaving just to the left of your thumb there. So take your weaving wire and we'll start with 3 wraps around the bottom wire. And then we'll go 3 wraps around both wires. And we'll repeat that a few more times. Keep pushing it together as you go. So I've done a few repeats of that, and the amount of repeats you do depends upon the width of your stone, because mine's only quite small, so you just want to do enough repeats to get across sort of the middle of your stone. It's going to be here, but we're going to put a bend in this weave here. So my stone is 1 centimetre, so that's 10mm wide, and I've done 4 repeats. So we're going to cut that off from the beginning. We could do cutting this off as well, actually. So then you'll need to flatten down any sharp bits you've got at the back. And we're going to put a bend in this weave. This just adds strength to the design, because we're depending on just a few wires to hold the stone in place. So we put a nice bend it so that you've got your lots of wraps go around the longest part. So you can bend it this way. If you try and bend it the other way, it's really tough, but kind of your inner wraps get closer together. So bend it this way, and then that will sit on the back of your stone. So you need to decide what's the front and what's the back of your stone, and then position that across the back. So the wires come down to come across. You don't want it central, you want it a little bit lower than central, but you don't want it too low. You want it to be able to hold the stone. So I'm just going to bend that a little bit more. I think there's only one point on the screen where I'm in focus. So I need to try and stay there. So position the wire where you want it to be, which is about there. And then holding that front in place, we're going to bend the sides around the sides of the stone. This is a very slippy stone, it's not flat. We're going to bend around the stone all the way around to the front. A bit hard to show you, but because my stone is so slippy, I just use the bottom of my pliers. So I've gripped it like this and then bent the wires around the side there of the pliers, because it just makes it a bit easier to hold. And then I'll position my stone where I want the wires to be, which is just below the centre point. And then I'm going to hold that there and bend them over the front of the stone here. So holding it the best you can in place, I'm going to bend these two wires up and around on that one side there. And then I'm going to do the same for this side. Bend them around on this side so we've got this shape. Now I did that quite quick and I'm surprised that that actually worked quite well. It might take some fiddling trying to get that shape on there. So this is the shape that you're aiming for. And what we're going to do now is we're just going to weave across the middle here just to hold it all together. So pull the inner wires up a little bit just to make it easier to get the weaving wire in there. So I'm going to turn to the side and I'm going to call my bottom wire the first one and my top wire the fourth one. You take your weaving wire and we're going to wrap 3 times around the second wire. So that's the second wire from the bottom. We're going to slide that down. So then take your wire over the third. We're going to wrap it around there 3 times. And then we're going to bring the wire over the bottom wire. So we've come over the first wire, go around there 3 times. Then I'm going to go over the fourth wire, the top wire, and I'll go around there 3 times. So this is just a pretty little weave, just to hold it all together at the front there. Then I'm coming over the second wire. Three times. Then I go over the second one. because I'm struggling with this stone, keep sliding around, I have bent my wires a little bit all over the place. So I just need to readjust my wires. But that's the weave we've got. So you make like a nice little cross in the middle. So I'm going to cut the weaving wire there. And I'm going to cut the weaving wire from the beginning, and then I'm going to flatten down those sharp cut ends. So this is the shape we're looking for. And what we're going to do now, pull it up the stone so it's nice and secure. Hold it tight, and we're going to take the wires around the sides to the back. Forget about this one here, because that's going to finish as part of the front shaping. So this one needs to come around to the back, and it really needs to be held down in place as you do that. So then this side needs to go around to the back, like that. And this one here, I'm going to finish that one off at the front there. So I'm going to cut that one off, cut it off, and then I'll show you. So I'm going to cut that one off, I'm going to curl that one in a minute. It just adds to the shape that I've pre-planned, hopefully. So now we've got these wires crossed over at the back. So looking at the back, hold the front in place with your finger, and we're going to bend these wires straight up. And then this one is going to go, I'm holding the front again. This one is going to go down. So you've got two coming up and one coming down on the back. So that's what the front looks like, and that's what the back looks like. And we're going to take our weaving wire, and we're just going to join these 3 wires here. I think I'm going to do it at this angle. So we need a short piece of weaving wire because it's going to be hard to get around that top one. So cut yourself a little bit of weaving wire about 6 inches long. We'll attach to the middle wire. So wrap 3 times around the middle wire. Gracie snoring again as usual. So though this is only a little pendant, and we don't really not using much wire, it is quite a nice little design that you could do quite quickly once you've got your head around it. So then we're going to go around the whole thing, so we need to go around that wire there. Just pulled it away from the stone a little bit so I can get to it. So we need to go around another 2 times. Just trying to find my nylon pliers, so I'm just going to flatten that down a little bit. And then I'm going to come up between those 2. And I'm just going to wrap around that middle one. And that will just secure those wires together. So I've gone round it 3 times, and that just holds everything there. And then cut those wires, the weaving wire at both ends that is, and take the offcut bit, and we just need to attach this to here. If we attach it all down, then it'll be more secured. So we wrap 3 times around that single wire, slide it into place. I'm going to slide it up a bit more actually, and then I'm going to go around the weave. If I find I'm messing about and it's taking me a while to get it through, I'll stop the video and do it quick, because I don't want you to be sat there wanting to learn the design and watch me struggling trying to thread it through. So if it looks like I'm doing it quick, I've stopped the video and then I've come back. So we'll go around there a couple of times. Sounds like we've got a bit of thunder outside. And then wrap around the single wire a few times. Just to hold that one down. I'm going to put a curl in that so that will secure that end. So we just need to cut both ends of this weaving wire and cut, you know, flatten down the sharp bit. So this one's just going to be a curl here, so I'm going to cut him off there. So we've got a curl on the front we need to do, and we've got a curl on the back, and then we've got these two wires that are coming straight up the top. So let's curl our wires so they're out the way. So taking your round nose pliers, I'm just going to put a curl in this one at the back. Finishes off the wire and it holds it in place, puts a bit of tension on the wire, on the join, and then on the front we do a smaller one. Hard to show you. I've put a curl in that one. So now I'm going to add coils to one of those top wires. So I'm looking at the back, I'm going to add coils to this top wire, and I'm just going to add coils. So coils are just wrapping around and around and around. So I've coiled about 2.5 centimetres, something like that. I'm going to cut the wire from the beginning, because that'll be a pain to get to once it's slid down. So I've slid that right the way down into place like that. And then turning back to the front, this is where we get to see the shaping. So I'm going to bend the wires over to the side a little, which is how they were bent originally on the back. And then I'm going to bring them both together over the front of the stone. Like that. And then where they meet here, I'm just going to go around both wires together to like secure them together. And then I'm going to add a few more coils onto that bottom wire. So when the wires get to here, I'm going to bend them both around to the other side. So I really do want that bend to be really quite tight and tiny, because that's going to be a little curl there. And then this one is going to come around underneath, and I need to attach the wires together there. So at that point, I'm going to go around both wires to attach them together. And then I'm going to add a few more coils to this bottom wire. And I'm going to bring this bottom wire around this way. So I've got one wire going one way and one wire going the other way. You push your coils up so you haven't got any gaps, and then when the coils come down to meet this wire here, we're going to join across the two, so we'll just wrap it around those two wires. Finding that you're a little bit close there, then you can pinch the big loop together a little to lift it up a little bit higher on the stone, because you want these decorative curls at the top here need to sit above the shape in there. So squeeze your loop at the top to be a little bit smaller, just to bring those wires in. So I'd need to just do another couple of wraps just to get in place to join onto that wire there, and then I'm going to go around the two. So I'm going to cut my weaving wire and post it around the two. And I'll go around a couple of times. And I'll just finish that with a couple of wraps around that bottom wire, and then I'm going to cut it off and flatten down any sharp bits. So this one is going to be a little curl here, and this one is going to be a little curl here. I'm pulling it round quite tight to get it nice and small, and I'll do that with the bottom one as well. If you can grip just the very tip of the wire, get it round quite small, it should fit in quite nicely. So now I need that jump ring. So I just need to run and oxidise that now, and I've got a handful of these stones, so I will make a kit available because I've got a handful of these stones, but I am in the UK, so unfortunately the shipping is against me if you are in another country. So there we have it, finished. I've oxidised mine. If you'd like to oxidise yours, I did a video on oxidising and aftercare, and I'll put a link in the description below. I hope you found this tutorial easy to follow, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye for now. Bye. So thanks for watching another one of my videos. Please subscribe and hit the notification icon if you want to be notified of new videos that I do. Please like and comment on this video and let me know what you thought. If you want to see my written tutorials, they're over on Etsy. You'll find the link below. There might even be a link on the screen, and I will see you all in the next video. This is Gracie, if you didn't know. See you in the next one.